Most YouTubers dream of having unlimited money to make the perfect viral video. And Mr. Beast finally had it. $100 million budget, 1,000 cameras, and a team of editors sorting through thousands of hours of footage. And it actually became the #1 show on Amazon Prime. So clearly, plenty of people loved it. But it also pulled just as many 1-star reviews as 5-star reviews. So why was the audience so split? Well, I've edited over 500 million views for YouTubers with millions of subscribers. And what I accidentally discovered inside Beast Games breaks all the rules you were taught about viral editing. And it starts with the simple editing trick Mr. Beast uses in the intro of the show.
Welcome to Beast Games.
I grew up homeless, and now I want to help other homeless kids. And that $5 million would be everything to help me get there.
If I win $5 million, I could use that to make passive income for the rest of my life.
These are very wholesome cutaways. They're kind of getting into the individuals because they've been showing a lot of very large, mass scale, super wide shots. They have to communicate how big of a project this is. But when you're dealing with a game show with this many contestants, it's very easy for everybody to just blend into each other. So you can never just stick to wide shots for too long, and you can't just stick to close-up shots forever. And that's the difference. Mr. Beast's team understands these little psychology moves most editors never even realize they're missing. When you don't catch them, you quietly tank retention, kill your watch time, and you never get paid what you're actually worth. That's exactly why I put together my viral editing secrets guide. It's free! The link's in the description. Go check it out before your competition does.
You're not gonna leave for 200 grand?
No, I'm not.
$200,000.
Not leaving.
Because it's not worth it now. I mean,
I'm not taking the bribe. No chance.
You do realize that they all have these little mics right here. That's how they isolate their voices. Because technically speaking, they could isolate this guy's voice to where you can just hear, some of the people in the background. It won't be as overwhelming as this. So all this noise in the background, it's real noise, but it's being deliberately raised and lowered to kind of tell you how to feel. Makes it feel chaotic. Makes it feel like, people are gonna die.
90 grand's a lot.
That's cute. Compared to the $5 million?
Under 1 minute remains.
Sensory overload. I love that. This little buzzing sound that just keeps happening. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Then they're literally flashing you in the eyes. It kind of resets your attention every single time. It wouldn't have the same impact if they weren't visually punching you in the face like that. Whoa. What was that? That was pretty sick. If you really want to generate a bunch of comments, do a rapid cut sequence, do some cool visual effects, whatever you want to do. Just flex your editing, right? But take out the music, because the sound design, if you do it well enough, all their mind can focus on is your sound design. That's how you trigger a bunch of comments. And that's what gets you a raise. I'm not lying, but only do it if it positively impacts the story. Don't just do it to show off. And in this case, this benefited the story by just showing a rapid succession of people getting executed.
Y'all are crazy.
Yeah, the editor is going crazy. They are just absolutely spamming it to just overload your senses because you want to simulate what the characters were experiencing.
To the 948 of you that rejected my offer.
I'm seeing a lot more crossfades than I'm used to in a Mr. Beast video. They typically do a cut, but a cut does not make you feel the same emotion as a crossfade. The brain associates crossfades with the passage of time. It makes the challenge feel like it's lasting days. Combined with the time lapse, you have 2 back-to-back events that signify a long passage of time. If they just kept cutting, you don't realize the length of time. They're just standing there, but I feel it with that crossfade.
I have to sacrifice myself. I just want people to know I really do care about them.
Brilliant cutaway. It pulls these emotions that they are experiencing into her story simply because they were overlaid while she was speaking. Isn't that crazy? You can steal people's emotions. Yo, why am I getting chills from a Mr. Beast video? It's like the most self-aware editing I've seen in a minute. The way that they introduced a bit more reverb to the screaming and sort of quieted it down a bit so you could feel the deeper notes of the dong, dong. I don't know music, okay? But I do know that the key that tends to trigger chills the most is D minor. So I'm curious if that whole song or that part or whatever you want to call it was D minor, because that would be the most amazing thing to find out. And it wouldn't have hit that hard if it wasn't in black and white. This just pulls you in at another level. Cutting back to her looking around, looking confused, that is a tremendous payoff. I love how they're focusing on that guy because they've been focusing on him the whole time. He's yelling at everybody, and then she makes that decision and it's just falls to his knees. And also they added this sound design of his clothes moving to make you feel the weight of him falling to the ground a bit more. And notice, I mean, they didn't do sound design for the whole scene. You got this person jumping up and down, but they're not doing boom, boom sounds for her. No, they want you to focus on him alone. When you're doing sound design, you don't need to focus on adding sound design to every element. Sometimes use the sound design to draw specific focus.
I got it.
There's a reason why the editor is not just cutting to these beautiful shots that are so cinematic. They are intentionally cutting to these GoPro shots, specifically this one right here. It's a bit messy, it's shaky, it's not a perfect shot. But that is exactly the reason why it works. Because when you're dealing with a raw human moment, it has issues, it has errors. Because you have to think, look at all these gosh darn camera guys. They got drone shots in the air. They got this camera guy right here. They got this one on the right. The editors have to go through all these shots to find which one works the best. And I love how they picked that one. Because in a sea of beautiful cinematic shots, sometimes the little jerky, a little bit not too perfect shot feels right. It feels right and it connects with the audience the most. That's what you have to do when you're picking B-roll. You don't just pick the prettiest B-roll. You pick the B-roll that triggers an emotion.
I'm ready to go to the city. I'm ready to go to the city. I'm ready to go to the city.
That is the power of comedy. If they would have cut a second or 2 seconds sooner, I would not have laughed. The reason I laughed is because in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, they're still showing her. And then I busted out laughing at the idea of them still showing her. That just made me die laughing. So that's why you have to understand rhythm and timing. And that's exactly what I teach. Now I'm playing. No, but actually, and this is exactly why most editors stay stuck. They edit for the client, for retention, for views, but they completely ignore the human algorithm. The same survival-based psychology our brains have used for thousands of years to decide what's worth paying attention to and what gets ignored. Inside the Elite Editor Academy, I break it all down step by step. And honestly, one of my students, Andrew, was skeptical at first. He told me he thought it might just be a repackaged version of what I share on YouTube. But after going through it and actually applying the strategies, he got a $6,000 raise from one of his clients. And now he's editing some of my own projects because his understanding of storytelling and human psychology got that strong. The link's in the description. Go check it out. Yo. The fact that they had it dead silent, they also turned down the crowd noise significantly, so all it is just pure sound design. Obviously, the little hatch sound doesn't make that whole making it sound like this is a monster about to eat you. but in mechanical form is amazing. Doing those multiple cuts as well, they went from a very close shot to a further away shot, a super wide shot to an ultra wide shot, and then a super close-up shot. It shows you the scale of everybody's shock. Again, it's copying and pasting people's emotions onto everybody else. Because it's such a perfectly isolated scream, that tells me that that was added, recorded later. But the fact that they let the scream go for so long is just brilliant, because we all know that she didn't actually fall to her death and die, but it's the fact that for a second, it's just a crazy thing that they did. And also the absurd clang noise at the end of her just dying at the end is insane.
Drop the rope.
That's sick. Yo. The sound design is so juicy.
Whoa, that is crazy.
They used the same one. It's the same shot again. And I guess there's no other way to do it because you want to show these people falling in the background, but it does kind of break immersion in a way because you realize it's not really continuous time unless it's like an instant replay, but this isn't meant to be an instant replay. This is meant to look continuous.
Are you guys ready for the next challenge?
That was definitely synthetic. There's no way that out of 700 people, nobody responded to Mr. Beast saying, "Are you ready?" Very synthetic, but it still works well in the story to kind of manipulate the audience's emotions. It implies that they're under significant stress to the point where they're no longer willing to cheer. And it's interesting that they didn't just reverb his mic, so it's just like, "Hello!" No, it was an echo, which makes the awkward silence feel a bit more deafening. It's crazy how you can build tension with less. They have muted everybody's mics because there's definitely people yapping, and they're just keeping the microphones of the people that are just moving, and they have this kind of cloth sound and rubbery sound underneath to make this feel quieter than it actually was. It's not just the fact that it goes quiet, it's the shot selection. Look how insanely close this shot is. Then we go a little bit further away, and then we go even further away to show the mass scale of the quietness. You notice it's kind of the same thing they're doing every single time to build and release tension. They either start super wide and then get closer, 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 closer until you're confined in space, or they start out super isolated and then work their way out. It's the same thing every single time, but it works.
Attention contestants, do not move. I repeat, do not move.
That is a voiceover added with reverb, and that's why they had to add the feedback.
Attention contestants.
Yeah, it doesn't match his lips at all. Yo, gosh darn it. They didn't avoid doing that trope even here on Beast Games. I'm so pissed. I'm pissed.
Yo, it's this way.
Love the way they're highlighting people. They are preserving the color on these people, but also boosting the saturation just a little bit, but also adding this glow. And not only that, they're adding this lovely edge blur so that it guides your focus right to the center of the screen. If you want your VFX to look the best, it's literally just layering simple things on top of each other. It may seem like you're looking at the most complex thing ever, but it is just one layer at a time, over and over and over, until it just looks like this high production value thing that you're looking at. So don't get intimidated every time you see a VFX shot that you want to recreate. Sometimes it's simpler than you think.
Hands in pockets, Gary.
People from all over the room were boasting about trust.
We can trust each other, right?
Okay, this black dude's definitely about to sell because they are hard focusing the camera shots on this black guy so much that I can tell he's about to press it.
The people who you think you can trust the most are actually
Oh my God.
the people
Was I wrong?
you can trust the least.
Yo! Yo! Oh, dude. Ooh. Okay, I feel bad for laughing. You don't even get to hear what she's saying, but the piano kind of speaks for her. I love that technique so much. When you just let the music do the talking, don't even give the satisfaction of dialogue.
I'm sorry.
And there we go. I believe.
I hope they cut to her. Yeah, I was gonna say cut to her again, like super sad. Yeah, that's sick. I feel like such a jerk talking like this, bro. I'm just like, yes, get a shot of her crying. Perfect. Like her emotions don't matter. I'm sorry, guys. It's just when you're in the editing room, you are like thinking like a human and an AI at the same time. You're just like, must find emotion. There's the face. I need that face. That's sadness and despair. Put that despair next to happiness. Now we got contrast. But you got to think like that sometimes when it comes to editing. It's just, you got to be vicious sometimes.
$100,000.
Let's go, baby.
The fact that bro has a big freaking smile on his face is hilarious to me. Yeah, I did it, and I'm proud I'll do it again. Oh man, they're killing it with Beast Games, bro. This is sick. It's got that Mr. Beast editing charm, but it's also got this cinematic sort of film TV hybrid. It's like film TV YouTube. It's like disgustingly good. You know what? This breakdown has been way too positive, but that ends right now because I'm about to break down some of the worst editing I've ever seen, done by none other than the CEO of YouTube, Mr. Beast. Not to make you panic, but you're probably making some of these mistakes too. And you can watch that video here.